Hello, fellow Toastmaster. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the Pathways program and how you get around through the Pathways learning experience. If this is your first time, this will be a great video to see the ins and outs of Pathways and how you're going to be able to navigate to all of your different speeches that you may do, as well as being able to see the descriptions of the programs. To begin, we are assuming that you are logged into Toastmasters International. You'll want to go up into the leadership section, and up in here you'll want to go into, education. Go into education real quick in the Pathways Learning Experience. Okay, and then when you get there, you can go to Access Pathways, and this will take you to the page that we see right here, the Pathways Learning Experience. Right now, they also are working on the conversion to the new Toastmasters experience, so please bear with them as they are continuing to perfect the site and make it better. But right now, we're going to take you through and seeing how you get to the Pathways Basecamp. Now, Basecamp, consider this your dashboard, and this is an area where you will be able to see all of your the different paths that you've chosen, and then how you can access those individual paths and the projects. To begin, you're going to see your club on here, whatever club that you are registered with, as well as with your dues, and then if any other clubs you have will also be in the list. So you'll want to go over to your club first and then hit the Go to Basecamp. When you go to Basecamp, it's going to switch over to the Pathways program, and it will now allow you to come to the dashboard. And again, right here, you can also, if you ever do need to go back to Toastmasters International's dashboard page, with your profile, you can hit this little link right down here, and this will take you back to the Club Central area. So in here, you will see three big buttons, and you can go to all three of these in different ways. Now, Pathways in Learning, this is also known as the Education Transcript. This will allow you to see everything that you've been doing in the Pathways program. You can go in here, and once we do click, so for instance, I do click on Paths and Learning, this will take us here to all of your paths that you have signed up for. Now, that does give you different filters here at the top that will show you whether the active programs that you're a part of, like I'm doing effective coaching at this time. You can also switch the ones that you've completed and others that have been archived. So again, I have effective coaching, and then you can click on these to be able to begin the program. Now, if it's your first time, it'll tell you to launch, and you will be able to go in. It will give you the opening to that path, and you will begin to start looking at projects. But everything that you have here will be able to be listed right here in the Paths and Learning section, and you'll be able to click on these and drill in further to your path. Now, we'll see on here you have everything listed. So I'm going to show you just how that kind of works. So we can go in here to Effective Coaching. I'm going to click over here to Open Curriculum. Open Curriculum is going to take you into, like I say, it'll list every level that you have under that path. Now, currently, I'm showing that I've already completed level 1 of Effective Coaching. It gives you a nice little percentage of how far you are in the process. So right now, I've completed 17% of the effective coaching path, and it will then again keep track of these every time that you finish a level. Now, what's great thing about Pathways now is that TI has allowed you to be able to go in and see all of these different levels at any time you want, which is great because if you do want to see ahead to doing projects, you can do that. But also, you'll also see your name at the top, a little what they call the breadcrumbs, so it gives you a list of the structure of how the menu's set up. And so you can, if you needed to go back, you could do that as well. Again, we were at Paths and Learning, and now we're in the Effective Coaching path, which again brings up all your projects that are involved with that path. You'll see here again the different levels. You can so level 1 I've already finished. It's going to give you a nice little check mark once you have completed it, which is really great. Now I'm going to show you how this all works. Now, Pathways, there are a few steps to it in order to make sure you get credit for these lessons as well as the level. If you begin in here, you can also see that, and since these are completed, this will be a good one to show you, because originally these are not going to have checks. they're all going to be blank right here until you complete them. And you see a status bar that says complete, as well as there's no due date because you work at your own pace. But it gives you a little description here of each of the different projects, and as well, and as you go through the different levels. And at the end, you'll actually did have one of them. It's called the completion, which will then allow you to finish out the project. It will get approval by your vice president of education or the president, and then you will be able to go through and see. But just to kind of show you at the end, you actually will be able to print a certificate of your completion of every project, and you can save it as a Adobe PDF, for your records. I think I clicked on this a little bit. Let me go back real quick. So again, in here each level will have all of your different projects. Now I'm going to start out here. Now every level one, you're always going to have an icebreaker, and that's what's really cool to just, again, like it is really just to be introducing yourself, to get out there and tell your club a little bit about yourself. And again, the icebreaker that gives you the project here. It will launch in a new window. So if you click on launch, it's going to bring up a new window with the project. One great thing about Pathways is that in each of these lessons, it hones in on a different topic. You may not even recognize what they're going to do just yet, but you'll start out with an assessment, and then it will then take you through the project to how it goes. Now, it's kind of stopped there because I stopped at the beginning. But when you come in, you'll be getting a little lesson on how to get through these projects, the navigation of it. You have a nice little demonstration visual right here in front. Make sure to go through those if this is your first time. It will allow you to then understand how you can go through, one by one of the slides and go through the program. So again, this is just the visual. So then if you can hit the arrow to go to next. Gives you the introduction of your actual lesson here. And then again, just a breakdown of what you're going to be seeing through the project. Now again, at the end, it will give you a summary of what you'll be doing in this project, saying like, again, the project culminates in you giving a 4 to 6 minute speech. All icebreakers are 4 to 6 minutes. That will allow you to then, it gives you, again, lets you introduce yourself, and it's one of the few speeches that you do at the beginning that is usually in the 4 to 6 minute range. Most speeches that you do in Toastmasters will be 5 to 7 minutes. And once you get into the more electives and advanced, you'll get to longer speeches. And each project will then tell you what time limit you're going to have for the speeches and directions on how you will accomplish that. Again, they'll give you an introduction. You'll then be able to keep on going. It's going to start bringing up the assignment. Now, you have also ways to be able to print the project. Now, in the old program, in the traditional program, it used to have workbooks. Now, that again, in Pathways, everything is digital. But you can always download these at any time, and you'll be able to print them up. Or if you want to put them in a binder, you can do that. But again, you view the projects, and you can print them and any resources that they come with it. But this will give you a thing where you can look at the directions firsthand. It'll bring it up right here at the bottom. But again, it'll tell you your assignment for the icebreaker, it tells you your assignment. Again, the purpose of the project. And this is also what will be on your evaluation sheets when you evaluate the speakers. If you are going to be an evaluator, the purpose statement will be also on the evaluations. So you can again go in here. The purpose of the project is to introduce yourself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. Then you have an overview, and then this will tell you a little bit about the assignment, and you'll be able to really see what they're honing in on. And each project will be different. You'll gain different skills in each of these projects, and some that you may recognize firsthand, and others that will be kind of blindsided, and you're like, oh, that may actually, I didn't realize that was what we're kind of honing in on. So the projects are very effective. And some of them are corny, and other ones are going to be very helpful for you. But the whole point is that you're learning something new in each of them. And that right there is how you're going to gain different skills in how to present the information, as well as just be more well-rounded as a person getting up in front of groups. So again, you will get a breakdown of what you're going to be doing in each of the projects. And then each project that you do, you will have an assessment of skills before and at the post of the project. So you're going to want to make sure that and be honest with these, because some of these projects you will actually go into it thinking, oh, I probably know this right off the bat. However, I caution you, because if you do that, the only thing you're defeating is yourself. It's important to be able to take it seriously, go into the projects, and really do an honest assessment if you want this to be effective. And yeah, yes, you can blow through the projects if you want. However, I don't recommend that. If you do go in through these, take the assessment. Really try to figure out if you really know some of this stuff going in. And a lot of them you may actually know a lot of this, and others you may just have no clue, and that's okay. That's why these projects are here, to help you understand what the concepts of being able to speak in front of groups confidently, and being able to be able to know that you can give a speech at any time. Because at the end, you'll be well rounded with a lot of the different tasks, as well as different aspects of being able to talk in groups. So you'll do the assessment and do that beforehand. You'll go through these, and then you'll make sure that, and then you go through these projects just like that. They'll also have videos too. They'll also go through, they'll show you again how to use the videos inside the lessons, and you'll be able to get the directions just like that. And then from there, again, more things like that will be coming through just like that.
Every Toastmaster begins their journey with an icebreaker speech. As you prepare to deliver yours, you may find yourself wondering what the experience is like for others. We spoke with a few experienced members who talked about their icebreaker and shared tips that will help you.
So that gives you kind of an example of some of the videos that you'll have, and each of them will have sometimes they won't have videos, and some will, but they do kind of hone in on what kind of things on the project that you're going to be doing, and kind of like I said in the icebreaker, it gives you your first opportunities to be able to tell about yourself. And that's sometimes always the hardest thing to do, is to talk about yourself. But it's also a really great thing too, because in the club environment, these are your peers. These are people that will help you. So don't hesitate to ask questions. And it's perfectly good to be going up there and feeling a little nervous. That's perfectly normal. But don't worry. But first thing is, be able to be genuine. Be talking about yourself, and know that if you mess up, you'll be able to get back up and do it again. It's okay, because that's what we're here for. We are here to help you feel better about getting in front of groups, providing that leadership opportunity, and more importantly, just feeling good about coming in and confidently being able to do a speech. But these are some of the things that will be important as you go through the projects. And then again, we say you talk about yourself and your goals. They'll break these things down in here, as far as they have the different sheets on it gives you outlines if you need to help write a speech. A little bit about yourself. They have different templates on here that will be able to give you that roadmap on how to write an icebreaker. So you got those available as well. And then it just talks about the basics of the icebreaker speech. Talk about an interesting topic, create an opening, have a body for the actual speech, and then also give it a conclusion. And again, these will talk about all of these projects will have that along the way, giving you details on how to put it together. And then just good tips along the way about how to prepare and present. But it really is pretty straightforward. You also will find you also have the little boxes here, which will kind of break through a lot of the different things about preparing and presenting. I mean, those are kind of things that'll be in there. But again, take these actually pretty seriously, because there's a lot of good info in here, and it will help you with your speeches for sure. But when you go through here, that's kind of how that all goes. And then it gives you a recap at the end and how to complete it. And you can just hit these, and it gives you like reviewing the whole thing, organizing it, being able to schedule with the VP of Education, and then be able to prepare for your evaluation. Now, when you get near to the end of the thing, like I told you, you have a place where you will provide the assessment of what you learned. And so they'll give you the scores of your before and after. And then after you're done with that, and once you complete the speech, you come back here and you can complete the lesson, and it'll give you congratulations. And then you'll be able to close this window up here. Then once you complete the project, it'll give you your nice little check mark just like that. You see how it updated. So that kind of shows you how the actual projects will work. And you do this, you'll repeat that process on every one of the projects. You'll want to make sure once you do get that done, you will have it where you complete it. You need to make sure you mark it as completed to get your check mark. And then by the time you get to the end, once you finish all 3 of these here, you'll be able to go to the level 1 completion and then be able to submit that to your VPE and president for approval to be done with level 1. So that's, again, how the pathways part of it works. And again, you can also look at the other projects as you go through here. You have like level 2, you talk about understanding leadership styles, your communication styles, and there's a little section on introduction to Toastmasters mentoring. Same thing applies to every single one of these projects. Once you get through, make sure to complete them, and then make sure to the last one where you are submitting for approval. Now you get into level 3 stuff. Now that's when you start getting into the elective projects. Now these get to be kind of fun, which is really neat. Now another little thing that will help you too, if you want to see things in a lot more, as far as a more detailed version of the pathways base camp and being able to see all of what you have enrolled in, you can go to view training details. Now this is a very cool piece right here. And this is also what they call the transcript. Now you can come in here and you will be able to see, move me up here a little bit, you can now see everything that you have done. This gives you a pretty much a 30,000 feet view of your whole entire path. You have level 1 and all the things that we just looked at in level 1, they are listed right here. You'll also see your status of when you complete the projects. And then you can also view certificates and stuff as well on the far right side. But this right here, the minimum requirement, it tells you how many of these you have to do at least for the minimum to get it done. And again, you have to do all 4. And one of them actually is just basically completing it. So it's really just 3 big projects in each of these levels. The 4th one will be making sure that you hit the completion and finish out the level. But again, level 3, you have actually a reaching consensus for this case inside of effective coaching. You then will be able to go and then start on elective projects. In this case, you only have to do 2 of them. So you can choose from any one of these different electives, and any one of them. And they're all very interesting. They really are. And you can again connect with these, and then whenever you find the one you want to, and if you don't like it, you can also choose another one at any time. You just have to hit the activate button. So when you get over to these and you like one, hit activate, and that will make it where you can start launch the lesson and begin that elective project. And then you get to level 4, it's kind of a similar thing. You have a few more required courses to take and more electives. So it's kind of the second part of the elective section. This one, in this case, you can pick one of these additional ones in level 4 to add. And again, if you have any questions about that, this will open up a new window to help you give a little bit more information on the electives or any other lesson. Level 5, you're getting near the end of the path, and you again have some other speeches to do, and also another type of elective to wrap up pretty much wrapping up your path. So you do the same thing and repeat that process once you get through each level. And then at the end, you will also usually you'll do a speech about that path, what they call the reflect on your path. You will be able to kind of summarize what you've learned through there, and give a lesson. It has its own project for that, just like the rest of them, and that it will give you a chance to see what you've done already, and it will help you compile a speech to wrap up the path. But that kind of gives you a big picture of what Pathways is about. And when you go through this, again, I think take the classes seriously. When you go through these actual lessons, go through it all, because I think you will be surprised at some of the things you may not know. I was actually shocked at some were really fun, but another ones that were definitely they're more just you want to get the concept out of it. So everybody will be different, but I would recommend to go through the lessons, make sure that you can try to take something away that you haven't taken already, because I mean everybody will gain something from some lesson, and it only makes you better, and that's why we're here, is to get better at being comfortable talking to groups and leading through speeches. So again, that's kind of gives you that's your transcript, so you can always see your progress by doing the view training details. So with that, you can also, and then again you can go back to where we were before. Let's see here. So I'm going to again go back. I can go back here, back over here to the actual lessons. You can see going from there. But again, that's also some of the things you can do with Basecamp. Now, a couple other things that you also want to know about too is that you have also a couple other areas in here in Pathways. I'm also going to go to tutorials and resources. So they also have all these different forms that you have from TI, and you can actually reach these in here as well. So you can go in here, and if you need information on any of these programs or evaluations, you can click on these, and they will give you a tutorial or the file to be able to see or download, what you need for the project. So that's also in here in tutorials and resources. There's also reports too, a standard report that you can do for your club as well. You can track in that. You can also do pending requests that are out there, as well as see. And if you're a VPE, you can also log into the Basecamp Manager and see the progress of your club and all the members and how they're doing, and seeing where they are in their paths. So that's another great feature you can do. That will probably be in another video on how to look at the different reports behind Basecamp Manager. But again, you can come back here to the home, and this will take you back to the home page where you began, and you're just seeing the different things you can do. Now, also, there's a couple other features. There's also a profile picture place in here that you can go in, and you can add your picture if you want to, which is really cool. I'm still thinking about stuff. Oh, Mike, there we go. So on here, this is going to take you into the back side. Now, in here, you can also customize your profile if you like. That's one of the things that's really nice. Feedback from your other club members, you could do that as well. That's also a very nice feature. So you can send feedback. You can do a feedback request and add stuff in here. And there's videos on that and how to do all that. And then the paths and learning that we were just at. So you have the details there. That same page that we were at before. That's where paths and learning is. ePortfolio. Now, this is a very nice feature if you're wanting to keep your details on your speeches, folders, as far as separating your speeches from the different levels that you're in. ePortfolio is a real nice option for you. So we're going to go in here real quick. In the ePortfolio, now this will, again, you have what you call the documents, which is really like any of your PDF files that you want to save for your speeches. So this is another place for where you could store all your speeches if you wanted to ever go back and have backup documentation. So that's a great thing. And then the badges part of it is what will be awarded to you, through each level. So whenever you complete a level, this is what it'll look like. So in the badges section, if once you start, every time you finish a level, it's going to tell you a level 1 has been achieved. You'll also receive an email too regarding that you have completed the level. So there's also documentation that will be sent to you once you complete these levels. Once it's approved by the VP of Ed and or the president, those things they'll go into action and send to your inbox. But at this point, I've also achieved a couple of paths. So you can go through and see the different things once it's even activated. And when you have all of these different levels achieved, they will give you, and the 2 represents how many paths that have been completed with level 4. So I've done 2 paths. So I've done presentation mastery, and I've done the effective coaching. I'm sorry, not effective coaching, the leadership development. And so 2 of those have already been done. On the third, this is for the 3rd path, effective coaching. So you can then see how many paths have been done and how many level 4s have been achieved. That's what that little 2 represents, is the number of paths that have been achieved with level 3. So just like I said, you can leadership development and how it's activated once you're finished with it. And I mean, that kind of gives you the little legend of how the badges work. But I can go back to ePortfolio, and you can also look at the side of the documents. And so with documents, you can then you'll have the different levels that it gives you. You can start saving these in here in your level 1, level 2s. So all your speeches, you can just name them in there and just throw them into those folders. Just upload them into the Basecamp Manager, and you'll have those for all your speeches if you want. Another great tool if you're ever wanting to just keep things on file. If you're on the go and you just need to log into it, then you'll have that in there. It's very good. But also label them real correctly too. Make sure to put level 1, level 2, and what path it is. So if you start using, they do the same things for all different paths. So every level 1, make sure you put the right path that you're working with. But that is a basic overview of how the Pathways Basecamp works. When you get in there, we saw that from the beginning. Just again, we come in through TI. You can go into Start Pathways, and this will take you to the actual homepage where you get started with all of your Basecamp and your different paths. And then you can also access all the evaluation resources on the second button. And then any tutorials about the projects you can go through here as well. There's also another quick video that visits Basecamp. Kind of talks very similar about what goes on in this whole portal. And again, I'll give a little bit more detail than what I had here, but it is available if you want to watch that too. And then you can go back here and then more of the feedback things that are here. You can do that as well. And then it gives you kind of an overview of the latest things that have popped in here into your queue. But yeah, I mean, that really is about it. This is just an overview of how the Pathways Basecamp works. Make sure to share this with your club members. All of these things are available, through video as well as through TI. And I hope it's been very effective, and I hope you'll come back and repeat this and get to use this again. If you have any other questions, just make sure to get back with your Vice President of Education or any of your club officers, and we can go through that with you. And again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one.